Hey everyone, it's Paul, SouthP24 from Instagram and YouTube. Today we're going to be taking a look at this guy. It's the new Black Series Boba Fett as he appears in The Mandalorian Season 2, or he's called Boba Fett Tython. Stick around to the end because along with a quick review, I'm also going to try and do an on-the-fly custom job with the deluxe Return of the Jedi Boba Fett and see if we can't get some of that armor onto him for a quick custom tutorial. I think it'll be a relatively easy way to turn this guy into a very cool Chapter 14 armored Boba. So we'll give it a shot, and here we go. Boba's packaged in the Mandalorian colored orange box line. This is the figure as he appeared in, I always call it Chapter 14, the tragedy of the Mandalorian in Season 2. You can see he comes with soft good robe. He's got a Tusken Raider gaffy stick, his long barreled rifle, and you can't see it, but down below, he's also got his side blaster. Now, out of the package, I gotta say, my first opinion is I'm really not loving the soft good robe. I'm usually a big fan of this type of accessory, to the point where I do wish some of the inner robes were soft goods, but this style that they used often with Jedi figures, it's a type of material that just doesn't hang naturally. You could tell that the way they were trying to package him in the box, they did like a fold over like this, and it sort of keeps it down, but all in all, it's just a little cumbersome. I don't know. I think the best thing to do is we'll take the robe off, and then we'll see what's going on with the articulation. So it looks like this sash runs across over the shoulder, hooks into these two flaps, and onto the holster around the thigh. So that's one solid piece. And then what they've done is they've hidden the articulation in this huge gypsy pant style piece of plastic on the thigh, but does still get amazing range of motion. One thing that I'm noticing that we don't get very often that we get with this Fett figure is the boot. So I'll call it a mid-calf swivel, and still nice range of motion on those ankle rockers. Overall, really nice motion on the neck, up, down. It's a butterfly joint at the shoulder, and none of it is really hindered by this kind of overshirt that they've been doing recently with some of the Fett figures and with the Stormtroopers. And the collar, or what we kind of thought was a hood before, is attached into that overshirt thing. Accessories. First up, this long barreled rifle. It's obviously meant to go over his shoulder. It's got a really long strap that looks like it could come off quite easily. So there's a little peg allowing you to take the strap off easily. There's some nice paint detail. There's a little bit of paint on the sight. Otherwise, it looks like something out of the American Civil War or something like that. Not quite the same as the long rifles that you see coming with the Tusken Raiders. Some gold highlights and things. Yeah, pretty cool. So getting this long range rifle into Boba's hands, it's clear you're not going to get the type of sniper pose that you can do with the Mandalorian. So the best you can do is sort of just stand and hold it stoically kind of thing, and ultimately just use the strap to get it wrapped around his shoulder. The blaster, it's got a nice metallic paint to it with a little bit of more of a wood brown finish on the handle. And that's a very cool looking gun for sure. Checking it out in the holster, fits nicely, snug, won't fall out. It fits in his hand really nicely. Next up, a totally different gaffy stick than what we see come with the Black Series Tusken Raiders, which came in 2 pieces, so you could kind of customize your sand people. This one's one solid piece, a really nice gold paint on what I'll call the lower part of the handle. Absolutely zero paint on the toothpick end of the gaffy stick. And then just this sad little string attached again, so you can hook it over his shoulder for that Nomad look. This is, like I said, it's pretty soft. So I'm a little bit worried about bending it or possibly even breaking it. Yeah, the rope's good, but it's just a little bit, it's not really anything. It's just a string, you know? Definitely some nice accessories with this figure. You think about it, you got the blaster, you got the rifle, you got the gaffy stick, and a so-so soft goods cloak. Some interesting detail. Overall, really cool. And then let's get into the last thing here, which is the face. So the final thing we'll get into is the likeness to Tem Morrison. It's a really nice face. Some nice paint details. The eyes are really sharp on this one. It's really well done. A little bit of a scar in there over his forehead. I think it's a great looking Tem Morrison likeness. Obviously, I've had some custom Boba Fett heads that are going to outclass this one, but for a $20 action figure, that is really good. For those of us who've been collecting the Black Series line for a long time, you think about how things used to look when we were collecting the original orange, blue, red box line, those eyes that would just be all over the place. Like, we've come a long way. So I think we can really be happy with that likeness. And for those of us who just want to take it to another level, yeah, you can find some custom heads that are going to be better, but this is nothing to scoff at. Lining up Boba with some other Black Series figures. Here he is next to his younger self, and you can see that they're almost exactly the same height. And here he is side by side with the new Fennec Shan from the same wave. I think that's a good comparison. Okay, as a final step here, you can see I've got the long range rifle and the Gaddafi stick up around his shoulder, but you can see that hood is just a nightmare. So I'm going to use my little trick here. I'm just getting my fingers a little bit wet, and I'm wetting the top of that hood, which is what I tend to do for a lot of soft goods stuff to try and get it to settle down. There it is. Look, with the hood up, rifle over the shoulder, Gaddafi stick over the shoulder, cloak on, and maybe that's the way you want to display your Tython Boba. All in all, it still looks good when you have them posed like this. I'm veering more towards soft goods these days with my figures in my collection, but I think doing it this way is good enough for a $20 action figure. And then the truth is, most of the time, if you're expecting him in this look, you probably have some sort of cloak on. Maybe it's about customizing the cloak, but sticking with the basic body underneath. Would I have this guy on my shelf as is? Maybe not. So what I'm going to do, which is the final part of this video, is I'm going to see if we can get a quick custom job. I think the head swap would be easy enough for the deluxe Boba, and then we'll get rid of this cloak and see if we can't get the chest piece from the deluxe Boba Fett to sit over top and kind of give him that look as he appears towards the end of chapter 14, once he gets its armor back on and starts kicking some Imperial ass. So here we go. right, so there it is. We got my new custom Boba out of all of this. Wasn't the original plan to hack up a brand new Black Series figure that you can't even buy yet, but I'm much happier with this guy. I'll probably still rebuy this version again when he comes out, but for the time being, I'm much happier with this Chapter 14 version. I'll get some silver paint on there, weather him up, and yeah, very cool figure. It's been fun. It's been a couple hours for me just playing with this new guy. Took some photos, and I'll leave you with those as we wrap up here. And we'll see you next time. All right, thanks. Bye.